Alright, hello everyone, it's mysticjuicer back with some more Yomi action. This is unfortunately, this was my match against, in IYL, myself versus Fluffyness, and I was not able, I didn't remember to turn on the video. I was too, I was too hyped and nervous for the kickoff for IYL, so I didn't happen to record the first game. So we played a really tight Troc versus BBB game, and this ended up serving me a loss. So I've got to go back to the drawing board, figure out who I'm going to play, and the main thing that I'm trying to decide at character select is, do I want to go to Onimaru? So that Onimaru is my kind of standard pick against BBB. The only issue is that we're very, very early on the set, and that means that I basically know that I'm going to be playing against Argagarg as my next match. Typically, I'm fairly happy to take that match, but in this case, already being down one, and Fluffiness being a really, really strong player, I didn't like my odds of coming out ahead in that exchange. So we typically go something like Onimaru versus BBB, and then Argagarg versus Onimaru, and then I go to Gloria, and then I'm not too sure what happens there, but I figured I'd preemptively try to go with a generally difficult to counterpick character in Satsuki. So this is game 2, and we will kick off with Satsuki here. So my logic here is that Satsuki has a lot of tools to deal with BBB. She's got a lot of good speed attacks, like her 2, her king, her jack. She's got single ace, she's got queen, like a lot of answers, a lot of attack answers in neutral. So I figured I would get some good opportunities to throw, be aggressive. She's got a lot of dodges as well. So just a lot of ways that I can be aggressive and get something going. And also, you know, she plays fairly similarly against the entire cast. So I don't need to tremendously change up the way that I am playing at any given point. So yeah, just a comfort pick essentially. So passing here, I'm just playing to dump the hand. I don't want to clog up a hand with a single ace, although I do end up drawing one. Although I would have shuffled, so maybe I would have just drawn the one anyway. So now I have the opportunity to use Speed of the Fox here. I go for a throw just because dodge is so likely. Or at least I think it's fairly likely, so why not go for the throw, try to counter throw, try to deal with a possible block. Instead, get duffed for 18 points of damage. That is pretty big for a low health character like Satsuki. I'm going to try to get some blocks off here, given that he has already spent a queen. I'm a little more comfortable going to block. Really should have gone to dodge there, and I pay for my hubris for I pay for my hubris with 13 damage. Already got a 20-point life deficit here in this game too. It was not looking great. Okay, we go dodge dodge. So I can. The reason I went for blocks is I just wanted to get kind of a larger hand so that I could possibly power some stuff up for multiple aces. Okay, so luckily we are able to finally block our way out. I was expecting him to block more often, considering how often I would want to block or play something like single ace or, you know, anything really. Instead, he duffed me good. Now we've got a lot of damage in hand. We've got some good throws. We've got a good starter in the king, but yeah, he punches out that throw real hard. Fluffiness cosplay, his BBB cosplaying as, his Persephone cosplaying as BBB. So we've still got single aces. We can use that to threaten to poke our way out. It's going to go back to blocking. But unfortunately, Fluffiness is, he's on another level here. Just like, okay, well, you know, you expect to be able to do some shenanigans. You're not playing level 0. So I'm going to just punish non-level 0 play. And he's doing an excellent job of that. Now we can go to single poke, I figure. Okay, poke our way out. Still at 24 hit points. Basically, an alive Setsuki is an effective Setsuki, so I'm not too worried about stuff like that. It looks like, I mean, with double ace power up for Fluffiness for BBB, it looks like I'm stymied here. I've got to play the dodge side of this mix-up a lot. But yeah, so what I figure is, okay, he's either going to dodge, like he's probably going to dodge. So I'll try to get that. If he does king me here, that's not too bad either. Luckily, I'm able to bluff my way out of that. So I remain alive. I suppose there's fairly little he could have tagged onto the end of that. If he had, no, actually he had another queen, so he did have lethal off that last turn. Could have tagged the queen on for 18 points of damage, which is more than enough to kill. We get away from that, luckily. Got sitting on triple ace here. You have to contend with double aces. Well, at least I don't die to that. Tag 3 aces on the end of this, especially with no face down. Happy to do that. So we bring the game a little bit back in our favor here. Now we have no dodge, so I think I should actually just block here in case he's got another ace or 2. But I am afraid of going back to range, so I decide to be aggressive and instead just get poked out with the 2. Just got way too aggressive with throws this game and was punished very heavily for it. Okay, still leaves me alive. I am going to go to range here. I am going to be able to power up these kings at least. Yeah, he did a really, really excellent job of punishing my very, very throw-heavy range. I had cards that I could have played to beat normals, and I just chose not to play them. Decided to be more clever than I had an actual right to get away with. So go for single ace poke. I do not I'm willing to trade with a normal poke here because it will not lead to lethal, and I will go back away from range. So hence and I had the Joker to make the possible dodge safe. Yeah, I mean, he just cleans me out with double ace. He had powered up for 2, so not unreasonable that he would have more aces in hand. And yeah, nicely played. It is fairly unexpected to have all 4 aces, fairly like that early in the game. But he essentially just drew 2 by kind of the midway point. So yeah, not completely unreasonable. Yeah, so I'm sticking with Setsuki. I still, again, the more I fall behind, so it's a first to 3, so I have to win every match now. Can't afford to drop another game. So again, I feel fairly comfortable playing as Setsuki in that kind of environment. Definitely more than any other character. Fluffiness hasn't really, that I know, hasn't played a ton of Troc, for instance, which is the the main Satsuki counter pick. And he's probably feeling fairly confident given the way the first two games have gone. So not unreasonable for him to try some different stuff. So I'm not expecting too bad of a time, essentially. Okay, so I was still hoping that he would think that I would go for throws fairly early. And I am rewarded in that. And managed to hit a really big combo there. 31 damage out the gate. And we've got a 7 that we can use to loop some stuff. I can't remember exactly what I do with the 7. Couple of different options. So I can just pick up the king just to have guaranteed stuff to dump off of, or I can pick up, okay, yeah, that seems fairly good. So now a throw will activate, will give me the pincer of either king attack or throw into dumping the hand again. So I again go for king, again expecting him to still be playing against the very heavy throw range that I had previously, and again hit him for 31 or 5 as the case may be. But again, not unhappy with that. 36 damage for absolutely, or 37 damage for free is not a bad look at all. And we cycle again. I can choose to counter this, but if I win combat, it's more damage if I don't. So that's my thinking here. Yeah, just play for queen. If we do get thrown, it's not too bad. If we get hit by counter jack, it's also not too bad. So I'm not too mad about any of these exchanges, really. I could have gone for a throw, maybe. Good call on his part to go for a dodge. I had previously played against the dodge king throw mix up by, like, I option selected against that particular 2 options in the last game, and he nicely changed his won the last one by just attacking, and did the same thing here, just switched to the different option. Actually went to the more obvious, more classic mix-up. I actually don't really like throwing away the king there. Not a huge. I think having the king is more versatile and a better option. With the queen, I'm committed to playing the queen, and then I guess I don't draw anything, and I'm able to power up the 8s, so it's not the worst thing either. But the king would have dealt more damage. Would have been 13 instead of 9. So a little bit of optimization there. The only thing the king doesn't beat is single ace. But even if it doesn't beat single ace, I'm only taking 11. So, I suppose he could double ace me, but that's not super likely. Yeah, so we drew another queen. Or sorry, no. We're in loop city now. So never mind. So we've just got to decide how we're getting rid of this joker, or if we're going to hold on to the joker. Yeah, there we go. Okay, good stuff. That is optimal damage out of that hand, bumping the queen instead of kings. We've still got the 7, so we hold on to the perpetual mix-up here. And yeah, taking the three classic options, especially now that it's late in the game. If he was at higher hit points, it might be better just to take double ace and another 7, and just threaten perpetual mix-up that way. Instead, just go for the more classic play here. Yeah, we can still dump hand if we toss the king, pump with queen, single ace, follow up with 3, and that should be it. Yeah, just barely close out that game there. Yeah, big adjustment to his read on my playstyle, so maybe that second loss was a good kind of accidental conditioning thing where he was expecting me to throw way more often than I actually really wanted to. So there we go. Okay, counter picks with Onimaru. I don't like playing Onimaru versus Setsuki. She just has way too many dodges for me to think that it's actually good. On the other hand, other people have had very good success with Oni. The logic is that given his final authority and the fact that you can't counter it, you have a lot of, like, you have this perpetual attack threat, right? You always have a button you can push that is going to beat Queen and shut down Queen. And shutting down Queen is really important, and especially shutting her down in a way that either trades comfortably. So somebody like Grave has a good matchup against Setsuki on the back, largely, I think, of his single Queen. The fact that he can potentially have, that he has a higher odds of getting them because of his innate. And, it trades 10 to 1 on a clash. So just having some button you can push to defang Setsuki's Queen threat is very strong. The other thing that Onimaru has is 7 throws. So 7 throws, his throw speed is 7.2, which ties with Setsuki's throws. And while his throws aren't very damage effective, like they don't deal a tremendous amount of damage, Setsuki doesn't have a tremendous amount of health, first of all. And second of all, the clash, like the 7 throw clash, is way in Onimaru's favor, right? He is spending something that he can only cash out for 15 damage, whereas Setsuki gets whatever damage she manages to scrounge together, plus advancing her game plan of dumping her hand, plus yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah, I didn't want to pump with the king and then tag the other king on top of it, even though it is more optimal, just because I want to hold on to the king to be able to guarantee emptying my hand on the next one. Now, I happen to draw into a king. That's not ideal. That's not exactly what I was going for. But hey, it works out. It works out nevertheless in the end. So we're going to be able to get good damage off of here. I think I should retain another king, unless I want to keep the queen. I don't think this is a great idea here. Like it does similar stuff, but I think honestly getting rid, like, okay, so Setsuki is held on to a card, right? He doesn't know that I've switched the card that I've held on to, because he can't know that. He just knows that, oh, he kept a card last time and he's keeping a card this time. So it's probably a joker or it's a queen. So holding on to the queen to guarantee that it's the queen is really... And now I'm stuck in a position where I've got 2 queens in hand. Okay, granted, I can now play one and then follow it up with another, which is like classic Setsuki stuff. But I don't know. It would just be better. It would be better the other way. Yeah, I need to dump these 8s if I want to be able to potentially get out of the hand. Yeah, to guarantee being able to get out of the hand if I... No, I needed... Oh, okay, no, why did I pick up the ace? That's so stupid. Okay, that's really dumb. What I needed to do was pass. Then even off of normal draw, I can queen, pump, and throw away whatever the other thing is. I happened to get lucky in the fact that I was able to successfully dodge, and I get the dodge into queen for the massive 9 damage that it is. But yeah, that was really boneheaded. Definitely rookie Setsuki mistake there. Yeah, but everything so far is going very nicely. I've managed to whittle him down 30 hit points. So it's pretty slow, but I am very deep into my deck. I'm 10 cards ahead of him. So we're rapidly approaching life lead into draw my deck and win that way land. Okay, he's playing Blodge, which is kind of the most conservative play there. I can only punish it by throwing, and throwing Oni is very scary. Attack with the 4. Not only does it give fairly little information, it's a fairly low risk because I do have 2 jokers as backup, and I'm hoping that I can get something a little bit more effective in my hand here. I'm still stuck on an awkward hand, made more awkward by the fact that I can't power up for nothing. I do have to pick up an ace from my discard because I now have aces in the discard. I do have to grab that. Briefly contemplating whether I want to pull an ace out of the deck instead. Really glad I didn't, so that we have this lucky opportunity to make something happen with aces. The fact that I attacked with a 4 should give him some idea of what my hand is like. It should be pretty awkward. So I'm hoping that it caused him to attack with the 5 because he thought that I was going to start poking with normals. So that gets us 3 cards closer, or 2 cards closer after draw, to emptying our hand entirely. And again, we're very rapidly moving towards a really strong late game position where we're going to be able to play a lot of blodges, and it's going to be nearly impossible, especially with the other joker in hand, for Fluffiness to win this game. Essentially, I just have to not get hit by quad kings with ace attached, and I should be fine here. So I rewatched this specific match after the fact just to see kind of what Fluffiness's hand was looking like. And he was throw starved for most of this match. Really didn't, like, I don't think he even saw a 7. Which is particularly painful because you really need those to be able to contest. That should be second joker, yeah. So he avoids the damage, but again, at this point, me dumping my hand is a win condition. He has to deal 70 damage, or he has to deal, sorry, essentially 50 damage before I draw 11 more cards. And I'm going to start making plays to really put the pressure on to accelerate stuff. So you're going to see me start mixing in blocks, because now that we're in the late game, now that things are getting scarier and scarier for Fluffy, where he needs to make plays, where he needs to connect with a queen, a jack, a king, you know, where he needs to successfully throw. I'm going to play a lot of blodges, like I'm going to play a lot of dodges and start mixing in blocks as well. And the only reason I'm mixing in blocks is, first, the threat of guard crushes, like the chances that he's going to play a guard crush normal, a 10 or an 8 in neutral, are going to be very, very low. They don't do anything for him that a face card doesn't do. So, like, the damage off of the face cards is much better. It gives him knockdown, which temporarily sets up a mix-up, you know, situation. Whereas the normals just deal damage, and that's just not enough in this late game position. So I'm going to start bluffing here again to extend to keep him constantly guessing. Does he have the second joker? Can I afford to spend my resources on throws, which are very card inefficient? But he does need to capitalize on every possible opportunity, and every time that he's unable to do that, it's just going to be a frustrating experience. And with us going into rapidly moving towards the final game in the set, I have to do everything I possibly can to try to unsettle him, to try to get any possible advantage I can going into the last game. Fluffiness is a really strong player, and he's been really, really good about adjusting to my ranges so far in this set. So I need to do something to try to get me an advantageous position in this last thing. And I think it's just better play to mix in blocks with these dodges the way that I'm doing, because like if you're just dodging, Eventually you could potentially put yourself in a place where you no longer have any dodges, and then guard crush potentially, like at this point it's way too late, but there could be an instance towards the mid late, like just on the edge of the mid game, where you put yourself in a dangerous position by dodging too much. I don't know. That's my thoughts on the matter. I was playing as hard as I could towards my win condition, and it just happened to be that eventually the win condition became draw out my deck, and blocking is more effective at doing that. So he has, we're going into the ace match. He gets his last counter pick here. He gets to pick the matchup that he most wants to play. Goes to Grave. So again, this is my 19XX counter pick. For Setsuki, I think Grave does very, very well against Setsuki. He can do a lot of damage off of random combat wins with throws, which is an important thing. You want to be to do well against Setsuki. Being able to capitalize on one combats is really, really important. Okay, that single ace early in neutral is actually really important, and as soon as I saw it, I'm thinking this man has a lot of aces in hand, because I don't think we see, and hence the immediate queen. I was actually honestly expecting immediate True Power of Storms off the back of that ace. So I didn't see it. We go to a block, so I'm thinking, okay, I still expect that that single ace indicates something. Hence the 2. So I'm option selecting the 2 with Joker in hand. If he does have True Power of Storms, I'm not expecting him to play it raw. So I'm very much hoping that I was hoping that if he played it honestly, I have a safety net that I can go to. And luckily, I drew into some aces of my own very, very early in the set, and I'm able to convert. So he's already at 50% of his life, and it is basically like turn 3 or 4. If Setsuki draws well, it's just a vicious, vicious place to be. Okay, so we have a dump off of, I don't know, dump off of dodge, I guess. More likely. He's played very few things. I'm expecting that to be real. Even if it's not, I'm not too mad at that. I'm not sure if I really agree with throwing with the 7 instead of the 8. At this point, I just don't want to lose combat. Yeah, I'm expecting him not to really respect a throw here, hence why I go for it. And it also gives me, or no, it doesn't give me the out, because I do have to power up the 10s and pick up one of the aces for my discard. So I don't know if I even actually pick it up. Okay, he gets single ace back, and now it's like, okay, yeah. With a 3 ace, characters with 3 ace supers, as soon as they power up for 1 ace, I really, really, really just go into it saying, okay, they've got their super online. Like it's real. It's definitely real here. And if I take some damage here, it's not too bad. Again, the dodges also mixed in give me a pretty good sense that True Power of Storms may be real. Thankfully, so I think the 8th throw there was a good option select against General Setsuki 3 card hands, because the only way to really get out of it is to have either a Jack or a King, and there we see True Power of Storms. Yeah, so really, really strongly felt like it was a possibility, so wanted to play, fairly safe to it. And you're thinking like, oh, you revealed like throw against knockdown Grave and then single ace after power up. Like how is that playing against it? I don't know. Maybe it's what do you call that? Like survivor's bias, where it's like, well, it worked, so clearly I was right and I had some kind of read, but honestly, it was probably more likely to be some kind of I don't know, some unknown thing that I picked up on, or like it was probably luck of the draw. He could have hit me with the 45 and made it much closer. So luckily the end of the game worked out in my favor. It's unfortunate. I mean, it's losing to Setsuki is so brutal. You really feel absolutely demoralized when that happens to you, and especially you go up 2 games and then you lose 3-2. It can be really hard to take. So nothing against Fluffiness. I'm Nobody also kind of went like laid into him, which I didn't notice at the time, but definitely threw him off for sure. So, unfortunate, but yeah, really well played, Fluffiness. Those first 2 games had me like absolutely scrambling for some kind of an answer, and luckily my Setsuki drew extremely well, which is a winning combination in card games of all kinds. So thanks everybody for watching. Hope it was at least slightly entertaining to see Setsuki, to see my day. Like, I've played Setsuki a little while in action. As always, if you want to get involved with Yomi, you want to check out where you can buy this game either in real life or online, check out the links in the description below. And until next time, enjoy yourself some Yomi. Cheers.